Hundreds of undocumented immigrants have been arrested in the United States in the first round of anti-immigration raids under U.S. President Donald Trump. According to U.S. immigration authorities, the recent raids and arrests are routine and no different than those in the past. However, a dramatic surge in the number of detentions over the past few days tell a different story. 2 weeks ago, Trump signed an executive order that made it possible to arrest undocumented migrants who are only charged with criminal offenses. This is a major departure from the Obama era, when only undocumented immigrants with criminal convictions were subject to arrest and deportation. An estimated 11 million undocumented migrants live in the U.S. Meanwhile, Americans are holding more protests in response to President Donald Trump's anti-immigration policies. Over 1,000 people joined the Walk of Love in downtown Minneapolis to express their solidarity with immigrants and Muslims. The protesters likened Trump's now frozen travel ban and his general views on immigration to state-sponsored hatred. Elsewhere in New York, several protesters were arrested during a similar demonstration against Trump's anti-immigrant approach, as well as recent immigration enforcement raids. In Washington, people gathered outside the White House to voice their concern about the criminalization of immigrants. For more on this story, we go live to New York to talk to Margaret Kimberly, U.S. civil rights activist. Ms. Kimberly, it's good to have you with us. Thanks for talking to Press TV. So all these undocumented migrants have been rounded up. Federal authorities are calling them routine enforcement actions. What do you think of the recent arrest? Are there any different? Because people have been drawing up comparisons between the arrest during Donald Trump's administration and under Barack Obama. Are there any different?
Well, they are unfortunately the same. Obama deported approximately 3 million people during his administration. That's one of many things that was in contradiction to his image as this defender of human rights, defender of civil rights. He deported more people than any other president. Now, Trump had a campaign promise of deporting people. His pledge to build a wall on the Mexican border and to send people out of the country, he's making good on those promises. So I believe that this is intentional. It is a directive from the White House on down. But I think it's important to point out that it does not differ much from what Barack Obama did.
So what is this all ballyhoo about? So much fear, so much confusion. If it's not any different from what Barack Obama was doing, is there really room for concern about Trump?
Well, the concern is it could be even worse. As I said, this was part of his pledge to send people out of the country. And the problem with immigration in the United States is that people are able to get into the country, able to get jobs, to work, to have kids, their children become citizens. So people take chances to get here and hope that there's a change in the law or an amnesty program, which we haven't had since the Reagan years. So people keep coming, and often out of desperation. They come from other places in the world where their situations are even worse. But their lives depend on the vagaries of the U.S. political system and the direction that presidents or other politicians want to take the country in as far as immigration is concerned. But Trump being president does change things. It makes things much more dangerous for the immigrant community, although I have to say it's very controversial. And there are many people, I think the population is split. Americans are split on the issue of immigration enforcement. But I think there will be more outcry because it's Donald Trump rather than if it's Barack Obama, even though often Obama did the same thing.
And one more question, briefly, Ms. Kimberly. Is this the solution, arresting illegal immigrants? Because like on Thursday, we had the case of an undocumented Mexican mother who was deported back to Mexico while her teen kids were still in the U.S.
Yes, that's a problem for many families where there are families where some members are here legally, some are not here legally, and there has been no ability for politicians to come to some agreement on how to handle the issues involving the millions of undocumented people in this country. So people like this woman who was not a dangerous person become pawns in American politics. And it's very, very sad to see this family split up and many other families in danger of being split up in this way.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Kimberly, for being with us. That was Margaret Kimberly, U.S. civil rights activist, talking to us live out of New York.